We'll talk about helping people. You've got a teacher that's applying to come and work for you here at Harrow. They are qualified, they meet the requirements in every which way, apart from that they don't have experience teaching the British curriculum in the subject that they're applying for. Would they still get considered, or what's the usual protocol for that?
I think it's a wider question of specialism of particular curriculums. So as you'll know, there are essentially 3 or 4, so A-levels, IB, AP, possibly the Canadian, the BC curriculum. And obviously schools specialise in one, mostly one, maybe 2. Some schools in China offer all 3. And therefore, most schools would be looking for teachers who have experience of delivering that curriculum. So an AP school would look for staff that have come from the US, have been experienced in delivering AP courses. And having taught AP, I know that it's very, very different to teaching A-levels. The course structure is different, the assessment structure is different. The balance between exams and coursework is different. Obviously the criteria for coursework is different to that from A-levels. So it's very difficult for individuals to apply if you've only had experience of IB, for example, to then suddenly want to become an A-level teacher. Because the curriculum, whilst the subject matter is the same, the way in which it's delivered, the ethos of the curriculum, as I say, the assessment criteria of the curriculum is really quite different. And therefore, the school that's recruiting has a decision to make, and that decision is going to be between yourself, who may not have that experience, and someone who does. And by and large, they're going to select someone who has that experience. That doesn't mean that you'll always be overlooked, because it might be that, particularly for things like schools in China, there may be schools that don't attract candidates that have the experience of the curriculum that they're running. And in that case, it's showing a willingness that you understand the nature of the curriculum, and that's about doing your homework in the application form and the application letter, and obviously the interview. And actually just being honest about that and saying, look, I don't have any IB experience, but this is what I'm willing to do to correct that. In terms of specialisation, my advice would be act early. It's very rarely you get candidates that move in between different curriculums all the time, particularly in secondary schools. Usually they would choose to specialise as A-level teachers or IB teachers. Particularly IB schools are very reluctant to appoint anyone without IB experience, I know that. And A-level schools a little bit more flexible, but when it comes to things like art, music, drama, design, technology, where there are specific exam, non-examined assessment criteria that need to be fully understood by the teacher, your schools are better off appointing someone that's had experience of delivering those, and it really does make a difference in my opinion. So it
definitely would be your advice for the teacher when they are looking to progress to kind of decide which route they want to go down and choose schools according to that and become a specialist in a certain curriculum.
Yeah, I mean at the primary level, obviously there's the primary IB curriculum, the middle school IB curriculum. Again, IB schools would want experience of that, but that's more about ethos and the way in which it's delivered. Whereas primary schools in England, the content is similar to IB. It's probably similar to the American curriculum. So I think primary schools are less focused on appointing individuals with UK experience, although they tend to request that in applications. But certainly once you get into secondary, you definitely need to
know where you're going.
Know where you're going early, yeah.